Hello, Internet. Welcome back to the Story Nook. Today, we are here with some I Don't Work Here lady stories. And our first story today is Had to I Don't Work Here lady at home to a rude lady. Also contains some petty revenge. By user Bookworms RN. Hopefully I pronounced that word right, not spell. So this happened a couple hours ago, but I'm finally getting to take a break and post about it. Our HOA built a fence around the neighborhood, the lowest bidder type situation. It looks okay, reddish color, tall enough, but the boards are flimsy. It's been a few years and it's starting to fall apart. Nails missing, boards fell off, so I let the HOA know about it a few months ago. I've hammered a few boards in to keep my dogs safe when I let them out, but mostly I've been waiting for them to fix it. Needless to say, they haven't touched it in months. So I noticed one of the panels had come loose. No nails in the upper and middle part, just one in the bottom. Anyone could pull on the fence and walk right into my backyard. I say enough is enough and I go out to fix it all. Replace boards that have fallen from the outside, put the panels back together, and get a solid fence line. My house backs up to a busy street, and when the red light is on, cars back up all the way past my house area. I'm on the outside of my fence trying to get nail holes to line up and screwing things into place when I become aware of a honking noises. Before I can take off my headphones, a large cup of melted ice and watered-down soda slams into the fence next to me and splashes its contents on my right side, soaking my shirt and some of my pants. Needless to say, I'm startled. I pull out my headphones and turn to look at the street. The light is green, but a husband and lady are holding up traffic, apparently trying to yell at me and get my attention. When yelling failed, the lady in the passenger seat thought throwing a half-full cup at me was a good way of getting my attention. It worked. I'm looking at her with a what-the-fuck look, and cars are driving around them honking. I don't even get to say anything before she starts screeching at me. Apparently, I need to get off my ass and move down to her fence. She's tired of her fence being shit and no one fixing it. How dare we ignore her fence and start down here? No apologies, no civility, just harpy screeching and throwing her shit at people, and blocking traffic for everyone else. I'm usually a really nice person, but I'm done with being yelled at for things and putting up with ignorance, so I didn't try to hold back my anger. I might feel badly later, but for now, I'm more than done. I put my drill down and grab my water and take a few steps toward them. Attempting to cut her off, I say the obligatory, I don't work here, I live here. Attempted, and she and her husband aren't listening. They are both still going off about their fence and lazy fat useless employees and HOA. I unscrew the large cap off my water bottle. The water splashes on my fingers. It's ice cold. I finally yell, I do not work here, fuck off! Both of their faces go full pucker. As the lady draws her breath and starts to screech again, I toss the contents of my water bottle towards their open window. She gets a decent bit to the face, which shuts her up. I doubt I got the hubby, but enough went into the SUV that I know he's annoyed. And if you ever throw something at me again, I'll beat your goddamn ass. Then, while her screaming in rage is going on, I gather my drill and go back to work. The husband goes to jump out of the SUV, but he's 5'6", 150 pounds tops. I'm 6'1", 300. Lots of fat, but lots of muscle too, lol. So he yelled at me, but didn't try to make contact. I responded with a finger, and he got back in his vehicle and flew off with tires screeching. Went 30 feet and had to stop at the light, well within my sight and hearing. The F-bombs were glorious. Plus, knowing my fence is better than theirs helps. I shouldn't be surprised at the way people treat people on the job, But did they think going off and yelling at people would actually succeed, let alone throwing a cup of old soda at me? So, I really like this. One, I personally think HOAs are stupid, and I never want to fucking live in one ever again, because fuck those places. But OP handled them beautifully. Those guys are assholes. And so, let's move on to our next I Don't Work Here lady story, which is titled, I Almost Got Fired After Having Given My 2 weeks a month and a half prior, got manager demoted instead, by user This Chick Won. And hopefully I read that title right. It was a little bit of a mouthful. It got jumbled in my little brain. And hopefully I said it correctly. I worked as a hostess during college at a big chain restaurant that had a huge staff. My location was the management training location for our region, so we had a lot of new managers cycling in and out. Most of them were promoted servers or bartenders from different locations and had no management experience prior to this. I never loved working at this location, as a lot of new managers were on a little bit of a power trip. Kind of comes with the territory as new managers. So after a year of being berated for issues that were completely out of my control, I finally got a new job and put in my 2 weeks. I handed it directly to our GM, thanked her for everything, and was set to leave on good terms with the company. Fast forward 2 weeks, and I receive a notification that my schedule was set for the following week. I called the restaurant and reminded the on-duty manager that I was no longer an employee and that they would need to put someone else on to fill my spot. They apologized and moved on. Another 2 weeks pass and I get the same notification. I once again call the restaurant to remind them. They again apologize. Before I hang up, I say something along the lines, hey, make sure you make a note of this because I'm going out of the country next week and I won't be able to call you if this happens again. They agree and we end it there. So this is where it gets dramatic. I'm on vacation in Spain. I get a string of angry texts from a new manager at the restaurant reminding me that I'm 5 minutes late and if I don't arrive in the next 5 minutes, I'll be written up. I text back saying, sorry, I know you're new, but I put in my 2 weeks over a month ago. I don't know why I'm still on the schedule. New manager replies saying that although that may be the case, it is absolutely unacceptable that I am missing a shift I am scheduled for, and if I don't come in, I will be written up and in bad standing with the company. I respond, explaining that I am out of the country, and although I am sorry for this situation, I am no longer an employee, and there is nothing I can do to help. I then receive a string of at least 15 messages back to back, and let me tell you, they were the most unhinged messages I've ever read. They went from calling me unprofessional to an arrogant brat. Mind you, I never worked with this woman. She started after I left. She accuses me of lying and being lazy, saying that if I quit a job, you need to give notice, and I should be ashamed of what I have done to the restaurant. Of course, I took screenshots of the conversation and sent them to one of the managers. Last I heard, she was suspended and then demoted back to her original position at a different location. Definitely for the best. Edit, it's been a while since I posted this, but a lot of people are asking to see the text. Unfortunately, this happened years back, and I don't have them anymore. Sorry to disappoint. I tried looking through some old phones I have, but no success. If I'd known this subreddit was ever going to be a thing, I definitely would have saved them. So, this is when managers be tripping, especially like new managers. They'll be like, oh, I'm so great, and blah, blah, blah. Like, I've had, like, several unhinged managers that did this shit. They would just text you and forget, like, you don't work there anymore. Or, like, when I would visit, I used to work in an arcade, I would visit, and one of the managers would just yell at me, "When are you coming back to work?" As he was stuck having to work the kitchen, because they didn't have enough people without me, and they couldn't keep anyone. Granted, like, that place is no longer even open a few years after I left. And I wasn't even what was, like, keeping that kitchen fucking open, I don't think. But the fact that several employees, the security guards, they were all just like, "It was a dark day when you left, we're struggling so much without you." And I'm just over here laughing, remembering, remember when you said, "Oh, we could replace you in a heartbeat, we have all these applications in, we can just get somebody else in here to replace you." And I'm just like, ha ha ha, the karmic justice has fallen. How are you gonna replace me when apparently nobody wants this job or nobody wants to stay in this goddamn section of the arcade? So, hilarious. So let's move on to our next story, as we've got some time. We'll make this episode a little bit longer. It finally happened to me. By user Flightless Potato. So this took place in a city in the UK with a large East Asian population. I'm of East Asian descent as well, and fit the demographic of the employees at a Japanese dessert shop that I had gone to with a friend. As we were getting ready to leave, and I walked to the front of the store to bin a servante, some customers walked into the store and immediately asked me if we were open. I told them that I don't work there, but just had a Sunday, so they definitely were. The man who asked me looked so sheepish and apologized right away. Not a long story or a dramatic one, but I was so tickled that I finally have an experience to add to this subreddit. And that's nice. I'm not sure what serviette is. I'm presuming that's the dish that they serve it in, the sundae that they mentioned into, and you return it to a bin so that they can clean it and wash it, so that's nice. Because I also had that happen to me, oddly enough, at a Walmart. And let me describe this to you. I was wearing, I'm pretty sure, I know for a fact I was wearing a blue Kiki's Delivery Service tank top, a jacket. I wear really oversized jackets, and I'm pretty sure I was in some kind of like baggy, almost like pajama sweatpants maybe, and or jeans that were like pulled up to like my stomach and tied, knowing me. And I remember I was taking pictures of pajama sets, and I was sending them to my sister to get like her opinions on them. I don't remember why. I think they were cute, and I just wanted to be like, "Hey, look at this thing," since you never leave your house. And I remember, like, this lady, she walked up to me and was like, "Hey, do you work here?" And I was just like, "No." And then, like, she just turned and walked off. Like, she was coming in a bit hot, so I remember being slightly, like, confused and scared. Like, I don't want a confrontation. And then after she walked off, I remember looking down at myself and going, how the fuck do you think I work at Walmart? Sure, I'm wearing blue, but Walmart has, like, specific vests and shirts that clearly state Walmart on them, and I was not wearing any of that shit. So, yeah. And this shall conclude our episode of I Don't Work Here, Lady Reddit Stories. Thank you all for being here. I hope you're all doing well. Hope you're all staying safe and hydrated. Have a lovely day, and thank you all. Bye-bye!